think so. Let's do it.
Would you look at that? We are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Engaged Family Gaming Podcast. This is a very special episode of the Engaged Family Gaming Podcast because it is our first one with a full house. You might say to yourself, Steve, how could this possibly be a full house? There's only three of you. Thomas is just going to be a little late. That's okay. He's going to be joining us any minute now. I am paying attention to the Discord right here. Because as soon as he pops into a channel, I will be able to use my moderator powers to drag him in. But in the meantime, this is episode 288 of the Engaged Family Gaming Podcast. I am your host, as always, Steven Dutzman, and I am joined by two of my very best friends in the entire world. First is Linda Roble, our managing editor of Board Games, TikTok teacher extraordinaire. How are you, Linda?
I'm doing all right. I apologize if I'm a little gravelly sounding. It's back to school season and it's back to normal, so they gave me a head cold already. So.
That's great. Welcome back.
It's all right. It's all good.
Welcome back.
Little germ factories.
Yeah, welcome back, Germ Factories. And also joining us once again after she took a little bit of a summer break, and that's okay. My probably very best friend in the whole wide world, Amanda Farrow. The Princess of Power. It's been a while since I've been able to call you that. How are you?
I'm so much better now that I'm back. Honestly and truly, I missed you all so much.
It was a summer that we needed to take off because you were very busy.
There's a lot of travel this summer.
Yeah, I mean, you went all over
work.
Yeah, exactly. You went all over the country.
I
moved
did.
the kid into college.
Mm-hmm.
So you needed it.
And I went home.
And you went home.
Canada.
I know. And I got to watch it in pictures, which is great. I got to kind of bear witness to the whole thing. So jealous of the joy of all of those pictures. Because, the tail end for me was just hot and back to school and work. Meanwhile, you're like going back and eating food you haven't eaten in a long time and seeing people you hadn't seen in a long time.
I did eat a lot of squeaky cheese because I had a lot of poutine.
Good.
I have no regrets.
Never with poutine.
I would be upset if you had regrets.
I bet I could change your mind on poutine. I bet I could make you really good poutine.
Oh, I'm all on board with poutine.
Oh, you're all on board.
Never no to a poutine. Are you kidding? A never a no to a poutine.
Oh,
if it's on the menu, we're getting it.
We will have to eat our way through Vancouver at some point because some of the best poutine, like the best artisanal poutine, is in Van.
Let's just plan on an EFG podcast up there, and then
that sounds great. I'm in. Let's go.
We can do one on location. Yeah, that's a big. That's a a big twist of the arm for Amanda. So, the man behind the curtain will be joining us momentarily. He said probably by 8:15. So here we go. It's 8:02. So in the next 15 minutes, if he's not here by then, he's late, and then I'm just gonna rage at him. Let's just get started. So, as is, excuse me, as is our new format. We're combining everything. We got board games. We got video games. I'm not going to be talking about Magic the Gathering this week. They just dropped a whole bunch of stuff today, and it's really confusing, and I'm still taking my time to think about it. Welcome Megamom to the chat, by the way. She is here. But we got a lot of great news. This every other week format gives us the time to really let cool stuff pile up, and I'm really excited. But welcome to the show, everybody. So this is, excuse me. This is our show all about telling you about the cool, family-friendly video games and board games that you can play with your family, and sometimes the grown-up games that you can play when your kids go to bed. Sometimes. We will be doing that probably, I think we'll have some time for that in November. I don't know why. Probably a little bit.
Figure out why that might be.
But first, let's talk about the games of the week. And I'm going to start with a video game that when it was announced, Amanda and I raised an eyebrow because we were like, wow, this could be cool. But then I was like, but probably not. And then
Yeah.
both of us played it. I played it on stream last week. And Amanda played a bunch, and that is Disney's Dreamlight Valley. Amanda, tell me, this game is way better than it has any right to be.
This game is awesome. Man, I've played 15 hours of this game and I love it. There's always something to do. You know, one of the things I struggled with Animal Crossing is that I used to run out of things to do in a day. Like I could sit down for an hour and I'd be like, so I guess what I do now is I rearrange my island?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but there's always something to do in Disney Dreamlight Valley. So the conceit of it is that you are a modern creature who gets sucked into this dreamlight valley, and everything's weird and dark, and there are these weird thorny things everywhere, and you got to figure out what's going on, and then you talk to Merlin. And from there, you know, it's like you're building out this story about what happened to these characters and trying to invite them to come back to the valley, to Dreamlight Valley, so that everyone can live together again and collaborate and have fun and tell great stories. So this game is absolutely like if Animal Crossing kind of had a baby with Kingdom Hearts, but then there's like no combat. It's got that very kitschy Kingdom Hearts vibe in a lot of ways, which I really, really like. So this game is just so much fun. I've played 15 hours of this game so far, and I have not really had a lot of time for video games lately. But Mike put the Steam Deck in my hands and said, "You need some joy," you know, because we were in Canada for a funeral. And he's like, "You need some joy, go play this game." And I was like, "Oh, but what if it sucks?" And then I played it and I'm like, "Oh no, but it's also great. Oh no, it's gonna eat my life." And that's pretty much what's happened ever since. When I'm not working, I'm like thinking about Disney Dreamlight Valley.
I'm 2 hours in. Mainly, I played it on stream, played it a little bit off stream. So I'm like 2 hours in. And one of the things that I find really interesting about it is it has a really captivating gameplay loop. In that you're a dude, I'm a dude. We're all dudes. Right? So I made my guy. He's a silver fox looking kind of dude because I gave him the gray hair. You know, he actually looks like a World of Warcraft YouTuber, which is really kind of like
impressive.
I completely by accident. I'll put
my girl has my new hair.
Well, I mean, great. I mean, I will say the character customization options, A+, very inclusive,
so
very cool.
Okay.
Oh, we got a Tomlinson in the WoW channel. Hold on.
We gotta move him.
I gotta move him.
We gotta move him.
Don't mind everybody. I guess I gotta be careful with this because I can show everybody a list of all of the Discord channels I'm in when I do this. Hey, look at that! The man behind the curtain is no longer behind the curtain. We're talking about the games of the week this week. So we're talking about Disney Dreamlight Valley. So I made my guy. I was on stream for a couple hours last week, and what I really like about it is so you have like a stamina bar.
Mm-hmm.
And, every activity that you take eats a little bit of that stamina, and you could either eat food, which gives you more energy, kind of like a Stardew Valley kind of situation, very Stardew Valley, or you can go back to your house. Now, the thing is, in Stardew Valley, if you go back to your house, it ends the day. So, like, it behooves you in Stardew Valley to, like, use up all your energy, but then go do stuff before the actual in-game day is over. Here, you just go back to your room, and as long as you're in your house, your energy recharges. So you have this, like, really, like, as long as you're near your house, you basically have unlimited stamina. So, like, I found myself doing this loop where I would go out a little bit, clear up every thorn I could. All of these evil thorns must be destroyed. And then go back into my house. And then I would go venture a little bit farther. And eventually I was like, oh, I got to go find Goofy. And I ran out of energy, so I had to eat a cookie. And I got some more energy. And it's just really, really good. My only criticism is that I wish there was more voice acting. And I know that is hard to ask for.
Agree.
It's hard to ask for. I get it, but there's just some scenes where it's like, maybe a little would have been good. But that's a small criticism. There's tons of characters in this. Scrooge McDuck is in it. Goofy, the Ratatouille, Remy is in it. He's got his own little mini game. We know, and we've seen the character list. We know that Frozen is in it and Moana. We know there's an expansion.
I have Moana and Maui. I have Moana and Maui. They're great.
Yeah. So there's lots of, and obviously this is designed to be a game as a service. Like they will be releasing more and more content for this over time. Can't wait for any of it, really. I think this is super cool. I have a feeling that this game it's not very often that a game swings this hard. Like this was kind of a disposable, like, yeah, we'll talk about it a little bit game to like, this is probably going to find its way onto some EFG Essentials lists. This is definitely going to be in the conversation for Game of the Year with us. And I say that comfortably after 2 hours of playing this game. It is.
I can say that very comfortably after 15.
Yeah. So it really comes down to it is everything that this is. If you were playing Animal Crossing and you're done with Animal Crossing and you're just kind of doing appointment gaming, right? You're popping in every once in a while just to keep the weeds going to make it so your villagers don't yell at you, or if you're just straight up done but are looking for another game to play, assuming you are not allergic to Disney, which admittedly there are some people that are, and that just can't deal with it.
That's okay. No shame.
I'm not here to judge, whatever, but this game is exactly what you needed. And so, yeah, that's Disney's Dreamlight Valley. I've been caught by surprise before. Splatoon was another one. The original Splatoon, where I was on record as being like, I don't know about this. And then it turned out to be our game of the year it came out. I think this is going to be a similar situation where I thought it was going to be kind of disposable. And here we are, really, really liking it. So
definitely vibing with it. 100%.
Yep, absolutely. If I weren't playing World of Warcraft, I would probably be playing significantly more and getting ready for the next expansion. I would definitely be playing more Disney Dreamlight Valley because this is kind of what I needed. Animal Crossing didn't scratch every itch. This one gives me an unending to-do list. Plus, I can collect Disney characters. Who doesn't want that?
Art.
So that's our video game of the week. Tomlinson, so it sounds like you've been playing it. Have you been playing it, or have you been watching the girlfriend play it, or tell me some facts?
So what happened was we are all blessed to be members of that Xbox Game Pass family.
Xbox Game Pass. Yep.
So I saw that it was free. So not only did I show her and get her started on my Xbox Series X, she has a MacBook. So then I signed in on her MacBook and gave her my old Xbox One controller. And then she was able to play remotely with the same save. And then she took it home, and then her MacBook died. So I got to fix that tonight. So I think it's just a charger. It's a 2012 MacBook.
Yeah.
So
well, the good news is we won't keep you here too long, so you can take care of. That's because girlfriend's laptop very important, especially.
Absolutely.
So this is Disney Dreamlight Valley. I guess I was remiss in talking about what it's on. It's on everything. It's available on Switch, PC, PS4, and Xbox. The difference is it's on Xbox Game Pass, and it's zero cost on Game Pass. Oh, what else?
And it is cloud save. So it is cross progression across platforms. The only thing that doesn't carry over is your premium currency. If it turns out that you bought the deluxe edition, like me.
That's
Listen, I played it. Hey. I played it, and that was it for me, man. I was like, oh no, I'm in. I'm all in.
But you could buy the stuff with your deluxe currency, and the stuff that you buy carries over. So it just means that you can only spend your premium currency in one place. Frankly, that is, for me, that's okay. Like, I think that's reasonable. Like, if all of a sudden it was like, okay, I spent, $15 on whatever, on the Disney Dreamlight Valley Battle Pass, and it gave me, some primo currency, and then I switched over to Switch, and then it erased it or something. Or if I could only buy stuff on that, that would be a bummer. But the fact
that would be an enormous bummer.
But the fact that you can buy the stuff, it just means you have to it means you have to actually use your crossplay. And I think that's okay. And I know it's not really a battle pass because there's no combat in this game at all. But
it's a progression pass.
Yeah, what else? I mean, I'm just so programmed at this point. Fortnite's got me going. It's a battle pass. So, speaking of battle passes, which makes me think of donkeys, let's talk about, I don't know, my brain is broken. Also, I have a list. Linda, let's talk about the board game of the week. Let's talk about Tonky Donkey, who was sent to us graciously by Game Right. Shout out to Game Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Linda, tell us about Chonky Donkey.
So fun. So this quickly became a favorite now in our little game bag that goes everywhere. It is now a permanent fixture in that bag, to the point that I had to run out to the car to go bring it in for the podcast tonight because it was still in the car from this weekend.
Hilarious.
It's so funny. So my youngest, this is the first time we played it. It instantly became his game. This is now his. So I'm sorry you can't.
Wow.
So what this is, it's a party game. So think apples to apples, not parent approved, things like that with the judge, but they put a really cool spin on it. Typically, when you play a party style game where you give a prompt and people have to give you cards to answer whatever prompt is, it's usually what the judge thinks is the funniest or they like the best.
Yeah.
Not here. Here, yes, they gave a really cool twist. Now, instead of if I was the judge, picking the card I like best, when I read the answers, if I smile or laugh at all, whose ever card I was reading, they get the card and the point. If I am able to maintain my composure the entire time reading the answers, then I get to keep the card and get the point. So it's
I can't play this game.
No,
I can't play this game.
He got
Could
so
not.
stressed out. I see it in his face.
So the prompts are, and I've just pulled a couple out. It's rated, it's recommended at 12 plus. So there is some potty humor and like mildly suggestive, like little kid suggestive. So that is in there, but it's no worse than like Cards Against, or what do you call it? The Kids Against Maturity, or those kind of
got
light,
it.
It's potty humor, but not terrible.
Like, what do you mean? Family edition kind of stuff.
Family edition, exactly. But I mean, it's got the suggestive, like one of the prompts is plumber's crack, so it's suggestive, but it's nothing atrocious. Yeah, exactly.
I already lost, guys. I already lost.
You already lost.
So that's what you'd be putting out. So the ones that have the donkey on the back, those are essentially the prompt coming out. So we have like shamalama ding dong. I mean, again, just silly. All the cottage cheese. Yeah. And then what the players are giving you to read is the questions. And basically it's backwards. Like they have to give you the question to the answer you provided. So if the prompt was all the cottage cheese, one of the questions I might have to read is, what makes you so famous? Or,
okay,
a piece of advice you will never forget. I mean, they're nothing, again, they're just ridiculous. We got to the point, the person reading would be holding the cards, not looking, and just getting the laughter out before they started, and then trying to deep breathe and then look at the cards. All right. It was, I think we only
strategy.
That is adjusting to the meta. You know what I mean? Like, I would have to do that. And I would still lose. Let's be super honest. I was terrible at this. But, oh my God.
So we played this. So John, the kids, and my in-laws, we all played this. And the only one that kept their composure through one whole reading through of the questions was my mother-in-law. I was stunned. She sealed it in. And then once she got her point, that was it. Then she let the laughter out.
But, you know what? I respect that. I really respect that.
I respect it too. Welcome to the chat season of the Sea Witch, and also Parnosaurus. Yeah, listen.
Oh, hey, that's my dad.
Hey, look at that.
Hi, Dad.
Hi.
I knew I saw that name from somewhere. I was like, where have I seen this? Yeah, listen. The thing about these games is they have to do something to have it not be boring and bring it down to kid level. And so I would much rather make fart jokes than have to explain to my dad why something is racist. So I am all in like on
You
listen,
nailed
let's
that.
just talk about cottage cheese, which is
Mhm.
funny when you think about it anyway. And also just the name. I don't know. I have not been able to say the name without laughing.
Donkey Donkey.
So, because it's Chonky Donkey. So, shout out to GameRight for sending that to us. This is part of their 2022 slate of games. They sent it
Huge
to us. This is the part I like about it. They knew us so well that they sent it without me even asking. It just arrived on my doorstep, and I knew that this was an Eli game. So I immediately brought it to Linda and was like, "Listen, y'all got to do this." But we have an honorable
I do
mention
this for
game of the week.
science.
It's true.
And that is also coming from Linda. And this is really because last time we met, we were talking about board games coming to retail, and Linda got so hype that it looks like she bought something. So listen,
Your
so
fault.
it's my fault. Well, listen,
Did you actually buy it?
I did. I wasn't kidding.
Linda, here's the question, Linda.
I don't even know what to do.
Linda, how much
Who
money
are
have I
you?
made you guys spend? I mean, I
Let's
think
not talk about that.
I've definitely made you spend it at this point over the last decade car payment, or not a car payment, a car at least between that
So
stuff
we have
behind
this. We have the other cabinet. We have the cabinet over there, and
Oh, there you go. Now, let's say,
Yeah.
listen, Tomlinson's not far behind. Listen, granted, his Lego job is not exactly keeping keeping my bank account full either.
it's
But
true.
but whatever. So Acropolis is a tile laying game, which we love us some tile laying games. We love us. It's a tile laying game. We love hex games. And it was on the list last week, and Linda went and she said she was thinking about it. It doesn't sound like she thought about it that hard. It sounds like she thought
it a
about
little.
It's
And
like
then-
that Twix, that TikTok sound. I thought I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it.
I
did
bought it. I did.
Yeah.
Here's what she did. She thought about it, and as soon as the camera went off, she windmill slammed the purchase button. And you know
Pretty
what?
close.
I ain't even gonna be mad. Just means I get to play it. And it's not. I can't even say I haven't bought things. That I can't say that I haven't bought things based on a podcast either. I will say I have a video game honorable mention that I want to talk about very briefly. And that is on Friday, I felt an urge to not play World of Warcraft. And so on Friday night, this is like 9:30 at night, I went to my oldest son. I was like, Evan, we got to go for a drive. And we went to Walmart, and I picked up Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Ooh.
Now,
Really?
Oh, really?
yes. So let me tell
Oh,
you.
really?
Let me tell you. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is a heckin' Japanese role playing game.
That is.
So it is.
Is it a
What do you
game
think
where
is essential?
where people like turn into swords and stuff? Because that's all
No,
I hear about.
that's the 2. Xenoblade Chronicles
That's the
2.
two. Okay.
You have people that are your weapons, and so you collect different weapons, and the people are your weapons. Here, the conceit,
It's a precursor to Boyfriend Dungeon.
kind of like
Okay.
Boyfriend Dungeon, only way less horny.
That's true. Boyfriend
so-
Dungeon is pretty horny.
But so Xenoblade Chronicles 3, the conceit is basically there are these. First off, everyone lives. It's in the same universe. I still haven't figured out where in the timeline it is. I kind of don't think it matters, at least for my purposes. I just want to run around and hit things.
No.
Everyone lives 10 years. Period. The end. You basically you wake up and you're like a teenager, and then you live for 10 years, and then at 10 years you have what's called a homecoming, and basically you die. And so you play this, and it turns out, who knew that having a society built around people that only live for 10 years, who knew that's not how stuff is supposed to go? And there's shenanigans causing that to happen, and so you play as this group of dudes who meet another group of dudes that you're supposed to be fighting against, and this other guy who is unrelated kind of talks to y'all, and this all happens within the first hour and a half of the game, and explains that shenanigans are afoot, and then shenanigans are afoot. But the weird mechanic in this game is you find out that different pairs of these characters are essentially drift compatible, meaning that's a Pacific Rim reference. And so basically, these pairs
It
of
really
characters,
is.
It really is. It took me a second.
these pairs of characters can merge together into, and I don't even know what it's called, but they merge together into like this super being. And
Mega character.
and they have like super cool anime powers. And I don't know how else to describe it. I think it looks very pretty for a Switch game. It looks really cool. It is very science fantasy. There's dudes with laser guns. There's giant robots, whatever. So if that doesn't bother you, like my wife really prefers her RPGs to be sword and sorcery fantasy. She's really much more of a Dragon Quest girl than a Final Fantasy, etc. This is very Final Fantasy 13 is what it feels like to me.
Okay. That's a vibe.
And but the thing I like about it is you can control a healer. And so you can actually like issue combat commands. You know I love it when you can play a healer. Shout out to Dragon Quest 2. And so I'm like 5 hours in, which is in JRPG terms, like I'm barely out of the tutorial. In fact, I don't think I am.
2.5% into the game.
Oh yeah. In the Nintendo voice chat Facebook group, people have been over the last week or so, people are finally reporting in, hey, I finally finished it. Here's the end credit scene. 139 hours in. I'll be honest, I'm not gonna ever get that far. Like I played it. I wanted to be able to talk about it for the show. I think mechanically it's very cool. It's just very complicated, very crunchy. There's a lot of numbers and a lot of stuff going on. It does have some really nice quality of life stuff. You can just hit a button and it'll give you a little beam of energy that you can follow that tells you where your next quest objective is and stuff like that.
Oh, that's nice.
There's a lot of aggressive fast traveling in it. So I think it does respect your time a little bit, but it is still, the J is very capital in this JRPG. You know what I mean?
I do.
But I mean, if you're in the mood for fighting some robots, and then when you're done fighting the robots, fighting like crazy rabbits holding sticks with their ears that cast fire spells, like if you want that, I mean, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, hard to argue with. I have some other critiques, but they're extra, and I'll save that for after the podcast because they're not, they're very laser specific and really. I don't want to put Linda to sleep any more than I already am. If you know what I mean. Yeah,
so those are games of the
week.
Those are games of the week. I mean, honestly, not a bad week for games.
Not a bad week.
So, speaking of games, let's just talk about the releases for the next week, because I think next podcast we're going to have a lot of other games to talk about. Here we go. Bear and Breakfast is out on Switch finally. Amanda, you played that on stream beginning of the summer, right?
I did. I played it during Steam Next Fest, I think, in June.
Yep.
So this is definitely on my list. I have not picked it up yet because Disney Dreamlight Valley is eating my life, as we have already discussed.
Is it weird that this game, for me, I feel like Disney Dreamlight Valley came in and stole Bear and Breakfast lunch? Like, it came out of nowhere. Like, we were hyped for Bear and Breakfast, and because we were like, hey, it's a cute little simulator game, we're going to do some stuff.
I love management sim games. Love them.
And now it's competing with, like, Mickey Mouse.
And I don't know, man.
Speaking of Disney games, Return to Monkey Island came out the other day for Switch and PC. I forgot that was a Disney game until I saw John Drake posting about it on Twitter, and then I went, "Oh crap, that's his garbage." Return to Monkey Island. Fun fact.
Because LucasArts. Because it's
LucasArts stuff. It makes total sense. Fun fact. One of the most trafficked articles on EngageFamilyGaming.com is the top 5 pirates in video games of all time. I made this article many, many years ago as a joke to release on, there was a Ninja Day. And so I put it out on Ninja Day, because, Pirates versus Ninjas. And Guybrush Threepwood from the Monkey Island games is on there alongside Ridley, who, believe it or not, is a pirate from the Metroid games, and I forget who else. So this is a really cool point and click adventure game. So I watched some trailers, read some reviews. This is another one of those chonky donkey, fart jokes, and it's
Plumber's cracks.
definitely. Oh, I'm sure there's a plumber's crack
100%.
joke.
Yeah, 100%.
Next up, and this is coming out later on this week, is Grounded is going 1.0. That's basically Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the survival simulator on Xbox.
Happy for them.
Yeah. Listen, I played it when it came out, when it was in early access, and it was fine. But I think the 1.0 release is great. Lots of great games hitting 1.0 in the last 2-3 weeks. Next is Hoko Life, which is Animal Crossing, but probably not as good as Disney Dreamlight Valley, but it's on everything. So that's one that we will also be taking a look at, and we will talk about it, because I have a feeling we're going to have to do a comparison of all these Animal Crossing likes by the end of the year.
I think I might need to take that on as my personal task.
Sure.
I've been playing Cozy Grove.
Cozy Grove.
Cozy Grove is great.
Yeah, it's so good. So much fun.
I mean, and that's another one that kind of came out of nowhere and has quietly been picking up steam.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that is really cool.
I play it on Steam.
And you've been playing on Steam, yeah.
And
it's you know what? Quietly, it's also, and this is a big deal. It's also on Apple Arcade, which is which a lot of folks kind of sleep. We talk about Xbox Game Pass a lot, but like Apple Arcade quietly, especially if you have a newer iPad or one of the freaking Pop-Tart phones like what I have, really, there's a lot of games that you can play really well on here. I'm kind of waiting for, Return to Monkey Island or something to end up on Apple Arcade, in a year or so, because it feels like point-and-click adventure games would be really good for mobile. So, lastly, bunch of grown-up stuff, but lastly, The Legend of Heroes Trails from Zero, which is a remake. Hi, Vivi. Which is a remake of a PS Vita game that's released on PS4, Switch, and PC. The community has loudly declared that all content creators talking about this game must remind people that if you intend to buy this, do not buy the PS4 version, buy the Switch or the PC version, because the PS4 version is basically just a copy-paste, drag-and-drop of the PS Vita game, whereas the Switch and PC versions have a number of quality-of-life improvements and other updates, localization, and otherwise. So, if you want another JRPG with a capital J, the Trail series, the Legend of Heroes Trail series is that. It's now that it really, and this is another thing we're going to talk about, is now that Final Fantasy is going to be rated M for the rest of the time, because they basically said that. Final Fantasy used to be a big topic for us because it was like that cool role-playing game. I've been looking for another one to kind of take the reins, and it really comes down to Xenoblade and Legend of Heroes and Dragon Quest. Because Final Fantasy, they're just going to be making M-rated RPGs from now on, which is disappointing, but I get what they're doing.
Yeah.
I don't want to complain about it too much.
Gotta grow with the audience.
What are you going to do, right? I mean, they get to make the game they want. I'm not going to freak out. You gonna play any of those, Tomlinson, or what? You can say no.
Not really.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm really on Cozy Grove, and it's not for us, but my friend let me Sifu, and it's just been sitting in my PlayStation waiting for me to play it for a month. So I need to actually start that one.
I know that they're adding an easy mode to Sifu at some point, and then I'll play it. Because that's
what I did with Ghost of Tsushima. Like, it's such a beautiful, breathtaking game. I put it all the way on easy mode. I don't want to do that anymore.
1000%. Let's talk about some board games. We got some board game releases this week. First off is a game called Kites, which is a cooperative. It is a cooperative card game where you can't see your cards, So this is very. It gave me when I started reading about it. It gave me what was that fireworks game that I hate?
Hanabi?
Hanabi.
Hanabi. It gave me Hanabi vibes.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Hanabi fan either.
So what's cool about this one is you're trying to keep kites in the air, right? So you got these 4 sand timers
Sand
in the middle.
timers.
And as you make tricks going around the table, you flip the sand timer over and you're trying to keep time. It's super, super cool. I dig that one. And all of these are at retail this month. Is the good news. Linda, what'd you think of kites when you saw it? Because I know you examined these games very closely.
Yes. Yeah, no, I was looking at that. It reminds me actually of one of the games that we had seen at BFIG a couple years ago with the timers. And so that actually triggered for me a little anxiety because I've had to keep time and manage different things at the same time. I think for the right player, this could be a lot of fun. The artwork on it is absolutely gorgeous. It's a Beth Sobel illustration. She's the same person she's done a ton. The one that I have of hers is Fire in the Library. But the managing all those things I feel like could be very challenging for some people, and it may fit some people really well and not fit some people. So I feel like this is a game that's going to be very, you're going to have people that love it and people that it's not a good fit with. I feel like there's not going to be a lot of middle ground just based on what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I agree. This is one of those. I think I like the racing the clock aspect, rather than if you get it wrong, you blow up your team, which is a Hanabi thing.
Right.
But so I think I have also over time accepted that part of my problem with Hanabi is that they were trying to teach me in the board game area of PAX. After a long day of one of my first ever PAX Easts covering games. And so I was just broken on the inside. And then they tried to teach me a hidden information cooperative game, and I didn't understand it. So it was. I think I probably need to play Hanabi again, give it another chance. But maybe I will, and it'll just be kites, and we'll call it that. The next one coming to retail this week. This is super inexpensive. It's under $20. It's called Hungry Monkey. And really, I picked this one because it's got a monkey on the cover. Check this one out. So you
cute.
are. This is another one where you're trying to empty your hand. And so you have animals that are in your hand, but also in this hidden row in front of you. So you got these cards face down, and so you're trying to play these things down. What do you think, Linda? The art on this is the real winner.
The art is just fabulous. Like, just so cute. Yeah, this looks really adorable. I haven't heard a ton about this one. I had heard a ton of hype about kites. This is one that I really haven't seen a lot of hype about. So I think this one's just quietly kind of coming out, and then I think it's going to find its niche. I mean, the artwork is just so unique looking. It's not a style you see very often.
Yeah, it is not, which I really dig.
So it's nice. Yeah, I like the unique aspect.
The name of the game, like the art of the title, is written like words in another language. I'm not familiar with what the language is, but when you see it, you'll get it. It really is looking to mimic the lettering of another language. It really looks very cool. The next one, this is one for the little kids, which, every once in a while we sneak these in here. This is a game for the little kids, The Box. You open it, and it has, that game they play on Fallon? I'm not going to talk, we know Tomlinson doesn't like him, but like on the Fallon show, they do this show where you got people putting their hands in a box, and they got to guess what it is, and it's like somebody's head, or like a, whatever. In this case, you're reaching in to grab stuff out of the box, and it's like, you're a monster trying to grab stuff in the box. And that just seems so hysterical to me, like trying to grab a piece of pizza or a shoe or whatever. Playing that with a little kid, absolutely hysterical for me. I can't wait to play this with my nephew.
Oh, he would go nuts.
This feels like perfect kindergartner. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's rated 6+.
Okay. Yeah, definitely like that early elementary. Like, honestly, depending on what they're asking, I could see this probably scaling down just a little bit to like late preschool, kindergarten, just, because it doesn't look like there's anything much for reading. So.
Yeah.
if at
Yeah,
all.
not at
Yeah,
all. I mean, it's
not at all. So yeah, you could, I'm sure, scale this down, assuming that it wasn't anything that's gonna, um, be it doesn't look like it'd be too complicated for like a
it's like
4 or 5 year old.
you flip a card over and it's like you
Find the
got to
thing.
reach into the
Yep.
box and get the slice of pizza or
Yeah.
the teddy bear, and so you got to stick your hand in the box and try and find the pizza or the teddy bear. And I think that's hilarious. The last game that is at
Super
retail, we've got a Kickstarter one, but the last game at retail is called Ragnaroks, and this is a 2-player area control strategy game by the person that made oh no, it left my brain.
No! Grenade! Worms reference didn't help.
Gray Fox game.
Santorini. So we know Santorini. It's the game where it's the island of Santorini, and you're building the little building the it's Santorini. We all know what the game looks
Santorini
like.
is good.
You're building this town, and you're playing gods running all over the place. They made Santorini, New York, and this is the same designer. And if you look at the cover, you're like, oh, same artist also. And this is a 2-player area control game. You are Norse gods, of which, because of the Thor movies, we all know all of them now. And so now you're gonna beef and trying to control Midgard. It looks super cool. I love I love area control games. A little bit of so, and I think it looks super adorable. Last one, Linda, you added this one. Why don't you take it away? It's a Kickstarter.
So we had talked about Necromolds last year, and I believe we declared Necromolds our board game of the year even, because you had backed it on Kickstarter, and then I was able to get it like last minute before Christmas. And so they are back. They have a Kickstarter that's live right now. It's got 15 days left. They fund it in like an obscenely short amount of time. So they have an expansion to the original game, and they also have a reprint of the game. So there were people that missed out on the original print of it because it was so hot, and it just, once word got out about it, you couldn't find it. And so they're redoing, you can get a reprint of it, and then you have the expansion. So Necromolds, just to remind everybody, is where you literally are creating the monsters on the game board using off-brand Play-Doh. And you only have so much Play-Doh, and you have to decide, because the different characters are different sizes. So the more powerful ones take up more Play-Doh, take up more molding dough. And it's basically a area control with the battling, and as you defeat one, you squish it, so then it becomes more terrain, and it's so much fun. The kids absolutely love playing it, and there was a reason we made it game of the year, like in the middle of a podcast, because it just captured us so much, and it was just so engaging.
Absolutely. Huge fans of this one. I'm definitely going to take a look at the Kickstarter too, because we do. Well, this is an opportunity to pick it up. So, because by the time we started talking about it, it was hard to get, right?
Right.
And so now this is one of those opportunities. If you missed out and you liked it, and by the way, we've been talking about you can use Play-Doh too if all of a sudden you need extras or whatever. You can still do it. I'm going to throw an extra one on there. It's on Backer Kit, which actually is doing its own kind of Kickstarter competitions. And the reason I'm bringing this up is that it is made by Matt Leacock, the man behind Pandemic. And this is Daybreak, which is, and I'll throw this into the chat. I completely forgot about it until I got here. I'm going to throw it in the chat. Daybreak is a game about climate change, but it is a aggressively optimistic view of climate change, meaning we are all cooperating as a society who is enthusiastically building the technology necessary to thwart it. And so I don't know about anybody else, but I am very hungry for a optimistic game about the future. And this is another cooperative game. It's by the dude that made Pandemic. And we know we love Pandemic here, but like at the same time, and I personally view Pandemic as actually kind of optimistic because of the fact that it's a coordinated game and you're working together and you can win. This is interesting. Also, this is the first time we're talking about a crowdfunding game that is not on Kickstarter, of which there are many, and we will probably be talking about some of those differences soon. But this is BackerKit, which normally, historically, was a company that just handled fulfillment and like extra stuff. Now they're stretching their legs, and this is a big get for them.
So the reason why they're stretching their legs is because they have the former head of games from Kickstarter, Anya Combs.
Ooh.
That'll do it.
She moved over to BackerKit, so
That would explain it.
and she's a powerhouse. She's a
Is
powerhouse.
this chicken or the egg? Did she go there because they wanted to stretch their legs and so they got her? Or did she go there and now they're like, well, now we got her?
I think it's both. Probably both and.
Simultaneously, I like it. Listen, more competition, more better in most situations. There's a lot of board games coming to retail this week. And also some really good crowdfunding stuff too. Let's go to the news. We're gonna fire off some quick hits. You know, we've been going, and we gotta go through some of these quick. But we've been having a lot of fun tonight. Linda.
Yeah.
North Star Games rebranded. You brought this to my attention.
I did. I saw this news pop up, and I think as soon as I finished watching the clip that I found this on, I was sharing it with you because this is big news. Because they have already had more, games more for, the gamer, not family weight games, a little more complicated games. And that's where they're going to head now. They are going to kind of step away from the more family weight and go to the crunchier, and they want to make it like that's their focus. They're trying to kind of shift the brand to that style, which I thought was fascinating that they're making that choice.
Yeah, it's an interesting new direction. We're gonna see what they come up with. They normally do party games.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I think it's great. More competitors in the hobbyist board game space, more better as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely.
We'll see what they come up with. I'm sure they would not be doing this rebrand if they didn't have a slate of games to share next year.
Oh, I'm sure.
That are worth the Switch, right? Like they wouldn't do this
Absolutely.
without having a plan.
They've got a plan. Oh, I'm sure they have quite the plan.
Speaking of companies that have quite the plan, Ravensburger, we know them. They do licensed games.
We do. Mm-hmm.
We're gonna talk about the announcement. I just want to tell you guys, programming note. We're gonna talk about the announcement. We're gonna save the deep dive for 2 weeks from now because I think we're running low on time, and I feel like this is gonna be a big one. Ravensburger announced Lorcana, which is a Disney-themed collectible card game. Not a living card game. This is literally not a all in the box cooperative card game. This is a trading card game where you buy packs and all that, based entirely on the Disney license. And they've already demonstrated that they're covering all the bases as far as Disney characters. Just based on the art that they have shown so far. With Mickey and Stitch and Maleficent and Elsa. What do you quick reactions from when you guys saw the announcement? Amanda, go.
Well, this is the first I'm hearing of it because I am not aggressive. I'm not as aggressively online.
Oh, all right.
So
Wait.
this is.
Yeah, now I really want to know your opinion. So this is a magic. So it is colloquially being referred to as Mickey the Gathering. What do you think?
Okay.
How broke
I think
are
that's
you?
pretty broke
Okay.
at this point. Based on what I have said about my love of Disney Dreamlight Valley, and listen, we can love things that are problematic and we can hold them accountable. Which is what I do. So I have not seen this yet. I saw this graphic floating around on Instagram, and I'm like, what is this? And I just never went and looked it up. So Lorcana looks so cool. It looks so cool. I'm gonna be so broke, and I don't care because it looks really interesting. I don't know what the balance is gonna look like. I don't know what the gameplay is gonna look like. Even if all I get out of this is beautiful cards that I can frame and put on my wall,
Still a plus.
it's still I feel like it's a win. That's
Yeah,
a win for
I'm
me.
looking at the Robin Hood one.
Oh,
but-
right?
And I'm just like, you take my money. I'm done.
Yeah. Here you go. It's for you now.
Linda, what about you? Because you've been around
this
my
is-
Magic the Gathering shenanigans
Yes.
for a while now. Does this interest? Will you learn this game?
So I have to say the card battling is typically not my style of
I
game.
know.
Typically, it isn't. But this intrigues me. What worries me though is there's usually a lot of meta to building your decks and things like that. So that would be my side of it. It's like if I could get a deck built relatively easily without too much having to worry about the meta, that's going to be, I think, what's going to either bring me in or keep me out is if it's way too complicated, if that piece of it gets too complicated just for casual play. I mean, I don't know if this is going to go like Magic the Gathering with like tournaments and stuff. I could see that being a thing if this takes off. But just for casual, like playing with your friends around the table, if I can build a deck pretty easily without breaking the bank, I would actually really like to give this a try. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah.
You go on. I'll play with
Agree.
you.
I can say comfortably that because Ravensburger, as part of the announcement, they talked about that they have people from former Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro employees working there. And the trading card game space, there are many that have failed, right? You know, Transformers, RIP, My Little Pony, RIP. All of them historically have released, you know, like decks that you can just buy and play out of the box, which are perfect for, you know,
Somebody
casual
like me.
players. And so I think that is, I think you're safe there. Also, I think that this game has a built-in community. I mean, Transformers had a community, right? There were people that were all in on that game from the minute it came out. And I think this is bigger, right? It has the advantage here is it has the backing of Ravensburger, who is
True.
Ravensburger does so much more than just some of the licensed games we talk about. They do puzzles, they do STEM toys, like marble racing things. Like when I go to their booth at Toy Fair every year, it's massive.
They always have like the coolest stuff.
Yeah,
They do.
this is new for them, but I don't think that the logistics are going to be overwhelming for them. So I'm pretty excited. The art is amazing. So far, we've seen, I think, 7 total cards. They sold a pack of them at D23. Don't look on eBay. It'll be embarrassing. The good news is those cards will be available in the first set. And they will be functionally and playably identical. The difference is they won't have a D23 stamp on them. That's the only difference. So people who are like, oh, I want to play with that Robin Hood, don't worry. That Robin Hood is confirmed in the first set. I'm pretty excited. The other thing that I noticed is all the characters have descriptors on their name. So that means we'll be seeing multiple versions of Elsa, multiple Stitches, this is something that Magic has done with their Planeswalkers. So don't worry that's the only, if you don't like that Stitch art, don't worry. You're going to see other Stitch, other Elsa, etc. This is going to be a character-based game. Very excited.
I'm going to be so broke.
More, yeah. Oh, man.
So broke.
More of this will come as time goes on. Let's close out. Nintendo had a Nintendo Direct. Here's what happened. I'm just going to go through the quick stuff. Basically, they said Pikmin 4 is real, and it's coming.
They really did.
They basically said Pikmin 4 is real, and it's coming. Then they showed us...
first they talked about Pikmin Go for like 15 minutes.
Yeah. I ain't got time to critique the Direct. They did talk about Pikmin Go for way too much time. They told us Pikmin 4 is coming. They told us Octopath Traveler 2 is coming, which I lost it. And then they told us about, and then they did a bunch of farming games, which we'll find out whether or not they're any good. But then they closed it with Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, May 12th of 2023. The noise you heard last week randomly was me freaking out because we finally had the title of a Legend of Zelda game. So obnoxious. That is me. I am obnoxious.
Well, first the title and then the date.
And the date. May 12th, 2023. I already put in the time off.
Same.
And
so,
all right. So what about what's up? Linda?
I knew about this. So this one I had heard about because my youngest may have said to me that it comes out the week after his birthday.
Oh well.
And he's already
Oh.
like, he's already planning to have a late birthday present of this. He's already like reserving.
Listen,
Which I just had, he's a planner. He's like, it's a week after my birthday, so I can have a late birthday present. Like,
I really
dude,
respect
man.
that hustle. I
Yeah.
really respect that hustle. Honestly.
I mean,
like,
You could
here.
pre-order it and it just shows up on that day.
I mean, I
When he
would be
knows.
worried about pre-ordering Nintendo games. We've discussed this on the
Oh, that's
podcast
true.
many times.
Yeah.
You pre-order Nintendo stuff; it's always a day late. But guess what?
Or
It
the
will be available.
console.
I certainly will.
So yeah, Legends of. First off, I do want to clarify: it is Tears of the Kingdom. We have confirmed that there were a bunch of people that day they thought it might have been Tears of the Kingdom, and that's just because English is stupid. But all the people
That's
who
true.
were watching the Japanese one were like, "No, guys, for real. This is the symbol for tears. Tears is a different thing." And we were like, and people were like, "Are you sure?" And they were like, "For real?" And then the
Like, be
internet,
cool, guys. Be cool.
should be cool, guys. It's tears. And yeah, we have no idea what that means. I mean, I mean, we don't know, but I don't care. It's Legends of Zelda coming out next year. Whatever, more Fire Emblem. And a remaster of Kirby Return to Dreamland from the Wii U. So
It's gonna slap.
that, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, another Kirby game. So that's awesome. Listen, everything they did. I mean, it was a fine direct. Some people were mad because there were lots of farming games. I really don't care. They gave me Legend of Zelda news.
I thought it was very well paced. It was a lot of farming games, but I just want I love the Zelda news, but where's my remaster? Where's my Metroid Prime remaster? That's the two I missed.
I just want to say there were a lot of people up on the internet that were listening to some people talking some rumors about
I know
remastered, remastered, Wind Waker, and just we can't. So Mega Mom in the chat saying she wanted more from the Zelda reveal. I mean, listen, they're going to give us a whole direct in March, where it's going to be like an hour.
I don't even want to watch that. I just want the game. I just want to play the game. I'm sorry.
I mean, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah. I'm good. I
so-
don't need any more.
Last piece of news. And this broke today, actually. And then we'll be, so we actually got caught up. Good job, everybody. This news broke today. Electronic Arts and Motive. They're the people, that's the studio, not the people, the studio that is responsible for Star Wars Squadrons, which is the space combat game that came out a couple years back.
Another primo game.
And Marvel announced an Iron Man game. And my very best friend in the whole wide world, Amanda Farrow, posted a quote. The team is being led by Oliver. How do I pronounce that?
Olivier Prue.
Wow, not Oliver. Olivier Prue,
Olivier.
who brings experience working on past Marvel titles like Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, and is joined by a dedicated team of passionate industry veterans, including. Do you know who they
Ian
are?
Fraser.
Ian Fraser I probably could have done. I don't know how to pronounce that.
Mélène
Okay.
Lumineau. And J.F. Fourier.
Are they in Montreal?
A little bit.
I hope so.
Yeah,
A little bit.
I mean,
Little bit.
that's it. They're in Montreal.
Yeah, a little bit.
Listen, I know my weakness. I took Japanese in college, so I can rock me some Japanese names. So tell me Konami's doing some stuff, I got it. I mean, other than pachinko machines. Tell me Capcom is doing some shenanigans, I got it. Once we go to European
French?
languages, so I'm screwed. I'm so screwed. So thank you very much for bailing me out there, Amanda.
No problem.
It's an Iron Man game. Linda, what do you think? What's the likelihood that your sons plus husband will allow you to go more than a week without an Iron Man game in your house?
I have a feeling it's coming soon. I think once that's out, that's going to be on the short list because we're a huge Marvel household.
Yeah, that's a big Marvel house. I mean, obviously, they just said it's in development, so we don't have a release window. I'm sure it's just going to be called Marvel's Iron Man.
We have two more Disney games that were announced at D3 that are kind of I didn't hear the ratings, but I
Well, we'll talk about
think-
them in a moment. I just want to finish
Yeah,
up talking about
yeah.
this because we do have like a couple of minutes left.
Yeah.
So this Iron Man game, we don't know all the details, but just hearing Iron Man got me excited.
Yeah.
I just remember Anthem and playing through Anthem, and Anthem being the best Iron Man game I ever really wanted to play. And I know
I loved
Rip,
Anthem.
Anthem, that game deserved better than it got.
It deserved so much better. I could write a book. I could write an article more specifically, I guess, about like how all the great things about Anthem that we missed out on because EA wouldn't properly invest.
Yeah, they should. You know what? They should have gotten halfway through it and been like, you know what? Let's talk to Disney and make an Armor Wars game. Is what they should have done, because they just set it on Earth and have the bad guy be Justin Hammer and have you be Iron Man and War Machine and fight the Crimson Dynamo
Ironheart and all those,
and have Ironheart. Yeah, why not? But you know what? I'm not an armchair developer. In fact, I am very bad at both games, and making games is hard also. So, what were the other two Disney games, John, that was made? Because D23 was this past week.
Yeah. I think the Captain America, Black Panther.
Oh yeah, how did we forget that? Amanda, have you heard about Amy Hennig's new game?
Yeah, Anna Hennig.
Yep,
Okay.
sure did.
So Amy Hennig,
Amazing. Yeah.
Amy, I presume that this is going to be a T-rated game, largely because it's a Captain America game.
Yeah.
But so Amy Hennig, she is the woman
And
that is
Spy Game.
by and large behind the Uncharted series. Obviously, hundreds of people made those games, but she is the narrative force.
More
right?
specifically, the Legacy of Kain series. That's
Also,
also very important.
Oh yeah, I know
Okay, yeah,
Mike
sure.
was flipping out when the announcement was made.
Oh yeah, that
Sure.
definitely happened. We were in Canada when that happened. He's like, "What?"
if you like vampires, so
I do like
Uh,
vampires. Thank you.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
So Amy Hennig, she's been bounced around by this obnoxious video game industry far too long. And some of it was because of EA. So we'll just move on. But she has found a new home, and she is making a Captain America / Black Panther game set in like an alternate universe World War II, featuring Isaiah Bradley, who, if you watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I've been calling it Captain Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That is a very different show.
Yeah.
And so if you watch Captain America, well, it's actually Captain America and the Winter Soldier at this point.
Yep.
If you watched that, Isaiah Bradley was the older gentleman that got the super soldier serum. And then also a member of the Dora Milaje. So it's 4 people
And a regular dude.
and a regular dude. I'm sure Isaiah Bradley's going to get super soldier serum at the end of it because he's a super soldier. That's part of the deal. But they call it the tagline is King, Captain, Soldier, Spy, and it's set in World War II. It's a single player action game. I am very excited. And we know the story is going to be killer because Amy Hennig is behind it, and that's her thing.
Now the other guy, the guy that's been interviewed with her is Mark Bernardin, which is Kevin Smith's co-podcaster. But more especially, he's written for the Picard show.
So he's done some sci-fi stuff.
His first job was like Deep Space Nine as an intern.
So
So he's been around. Yeah.
He's been doing some sci-fi stuff. Great. I mean, hopefully the two of them gel together, get them in a retreat with the rest of the writing team, give them unlimited pizza and whatever
More
else they want.
importantly, the new adult Masters of the Universe TV show. He was a writer on that. Yeah.
I don't know if that's more important than Deep Space Nine.
It was really good. It was.
It was
I know,
actually
but
really
Deep
good. I
Space
loved
Nine is a
it.
thing.
Yeah.
Also, I will say, let's just get him. Let's lock him and Amy Hennig in a room. Let's get this game done.
Oh, they already
I
are. But
Yeah.
the number two game, a little game called Tron.
So what's interesting about Tron is, and I wasn't even going to bring it up because Tron is. I mean, we all know what Tron is. It's a visual novel made by Mike Bithel's studio. Now they're the people that made Thomas Was Alone.
Yep.
Which is like a weird little indie platformer from like a while ago.
He
So,
also
like-
made another game called Solitaire Conspiracy, which was a solitaire games where the different suits would do different things.
Yeah.
And it also had a visual novel component to it, and it was pretty amazing.
So I was interested in the Tron game. I'll admit I wasn't going to be mentioning it, largely just because I had I completely forgot about it. But yes, as that game comes out, more additions to the Tron universe are absolutely welcome.
Yeah,
I absolutely
like
love
the
that.
only thing we've had lately was the little bits in Kingdom Hearts. So
Yeah, so we'll get some
but
more.
that's the thing. He's just like I've heard him talk about it on Play Watch Listen, and it's just he's like, I've been sitting here and there's so much lore to play with. And it's set in the future, all this kind of stuff.
I mean, all right.
Well, their future in the
Yeah.
games are
So
weird.
cool. So that's lots of cool announcements. We're gonna wrap up. Before we do that, I want to make everybody feel old. Let's think 10 years ago. Not that long ago, but when I tell you these things, you're gonna be like, "Holy crap! How is this even possible?" Two things came out in 2022, and not video game related. We're gonna try and stretch our wings here a little bit. This little game called this little movie rather called The Avengers is 10 years old this year.
A
Like-
little fact about the Marvel Universe, the entirety of Iron Man 1 all the way to the first Avengers that we're talking about right now, or no, Infinity War, happens in between Kingdom Hearts 2 and 3 release dates. The entirety of Marvel.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's the
how
first
long
thing.
the game took.
So the Avengers turned 10. Another thing, and this is a relatively recent 10-year anniversary, Avatar: The Legend of Korra is 10 years old now. Now, for me, that feels like that was last week.
Yeah.
For sure.
The fact that
Kinda
that's a
does.
sequel series.
Yep.
So Airbender's older.
Yeah.
So much.
Airbender came out in 2005, friends.
Oh.
Yeah.
2006, maybe?
Yeah, it was a while ago. I know that my oldest was like a baby while we were watching it. So yeah, now I've made everybody feel old. That's the second.
That's very appreciated.
I am reminded to feel old, on a weekly basis at this point. So, all right, so we made it, guys. We made it through episode 288 of the Engaged Family Gaming Podcast. I want to thank everybody in the chat. We've had Mega Mom very active in there. She said that she hadn't heard about that Cap and Black Panther game. It was a big news, but only in the gaming space because it was an announcement of an announcement, right? Like we don't have like real details. We just have key art.
Yeah.
Trust me when I say, when that game is like officially unveiled, Amanda and I will freak out and we will tell everyone all about it.
This is correct.
And so, and I also want to thank Season of the Sea Witch and Godologic was in there sneaking some stuff in. So thank you very much, guys, for being a part of the show. Hey, look at that. Pax is in here, taking some time off from making Guild Wars to spend some time with us. I think it might be, yeah, they are on the West Coast, so this is prime not working time. So welcome to the show. So yeah, we did it. So I hope you guys enjoyed listening as much as we enjoyed recording. I will be back next week with a new video game. Or just more Disney Starlight Valley. We'll figure it out. It might just be that. Who knows? And then we'll be back the week after that. Yeah, it is at the end. We've been going, but we will be back. So next week is a stream. Week after that will be another episode of the podcast where we will get all caught up on all the crazy video game and board game news of the next 2 weeks, which at the rate we've been going, it's a lot. Or we'll just yell about Starlight Valley again for another hour. Who knows?
Yeah.
So John, Linda, and Amanda, thank you.
You're welcome.
Everybody
Always.
else, you have a great night. We will see you next time. And until then, don't forget to get your family game on. We'll see y'all soon. Bye.
Bye.